Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Tara na, brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa, sama-sama, brigada, eskwela, saling na buong barkada, brigada, eskwela, kilos na pagbayanihan na.
Nagasidya gikan sa Bulawanong probinsya sa Davao de Oro. Kini ang siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw. 88.5 Z Radio.
This is Z Radio 88.5.
Good morning, Golden Province of Davao de Oro. Our food for thought for today is coming from the book of Psalm, chapter 86, verse 15. And it says, "But thou, O Lord, art a God full of compassion, and gracious, long-suffering, and plenteous in mercy and truth." Reflection. God has ordained according to the law of ministry that we should comfort one another in tenderness and love when great sorrows come upon us. No man liveth unto himself, no one dieth unto himself. Life and death both mean something to every human being. God has enjoined the duty upon his human agents to communicate the character of God, testifying to his grace, his wisdom, and his benevolence, by manifesting his refined, tender, merciful love. Jesus was ever touched with human woe, and our hearts should be softened and subdued by his Holy Spirit, that we may be like him. Our work is to restore the moral image of God in man through the abundant grace given us of God by Jesus Christ. Everywhere we shall find souls ready to die, and how essential it is that the compassion of Christ shall be given us of him. In order that we may never place one soul in defiance by not manifesting long forbearance and pitying tenderness. I inquire, will we ever learn the gentleness of Christ? Oh, how much we need to know Jesus and our Heavenly Father that we may represent Him in character. Jesus calls us to Himself, not simply to refresh us with His grace and presence for a few hours, and then to send us forth from His light to walk apart from Him in sadness and gloom. No. He tells us that we must abide with Him and He with us. Wherever His work is to be done, He is present, tender, loving, and compassionate. He has prepared for you and me an abiding dwelling place in Himself. He is our refuge. Our experience should be broadened and deepened. Jesus has opened up all the divine fullness of His inexpressible love, and He declares to you, "Ye are laborers together with God." What meaning these words have? Abide in me. Take my yoke upon you. Will we take it? For the promise is, "Ye shall find rest unto your souls." There is rest, complete rest in abiding in Christ.
Gikan sa bubuhat, Davao de Oro, tuburan sa paglao. Sa Dabawen yung mahuswagon, ang kaanyag mo makabibihan, talag sa undas sa kahitasan, kabukiran sa lumaki alimahan, bunga sa karagayan. May pagluban, yuta mong nagmadagayaon, mga anak mong mahigugmaon. Ipaligod sa bayanihan, inumol sa panaghiusap, sa timumang may mapeya at sa pagpinabangan may kalambuan. Bibihan, talag sa ondas sa kahitasan, kabukiran sa lumagi alimahan, bunga sa kalagayan. Davao de Oro, kanimong nagabitan, among kabulahanan. Paraiso sa naghiusang Dabawen.
Z Radio 88.5.
Check your time mga ka-Z. It's already 27 minutes past the hour of 10. Again, atong oras karon alas 10:27 na sa buntag. Og time check sa ka nato ni Vice Governor Maria Carmen Zamora. Ayan, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Golden Province of Davao de Oro. Lakip na usab ang atong mga silingang lalawigan nga abot ning atong Sibiyahanan. And we welcome you all sa atong Tuesday edition ng inyong paboritong programa. Ito po ang Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Siguradong masaya.
Yes, our program is atid po sa atin ng DepEd Division of Davao de Oro in partnership with the Z Radio 88.5. Ayan, happy Tuesday sa lahat ng ating mga ka-Z-Eskwela no? Nga nakatutok sa atong programa karon. Maraming thank you po sa inyong kanunay nga pagsuporta ning atong programa. Ayan, good morning Sir Drew.
Good morning, Teacher Mai. Of course, good morning sa lahat ng ating mga Zuking tigpamilya, most especially sa ating mga Z-Eskwela learners across the province. Good morning. And also sa ating mga fellow teachers na sikay-sikay po sila mga trabaho din na whether be in work from home or skeletal workforce.
Of course, nais rin po nating batiin ang isang magandang umaga ang atong mga personahe diha sa DepEd Division of Davao de Oro, Sir Drew.
Yes, good morning sa ating inahan sa atong Division of Davao de Oro at atuang SDS na si Ma'am Euphemia T. Gamutin and kauban usab ang atuang Assistant SDS na si Doc Romel Handayan ug sa tanang mga EPS ug mga department heads ug mga personahe nina ug mga empleyado sa atong division office. Maayong buntag ug medyo bugnaw jud ang atuang kabuntagon karon.
Okay, so we are praying and hoping ang tanan naa sa luwas nga kahimtang no labaw na sa mga nagabiyahe karon lulan sa ilahang mga personal nga mga sakyanan or nakasakay sa atong mga public utility vehicle. Ayan, we're praying nga makaabot mo sa inyong mga destinations nga safe. At tumutok lang po kayo, samahan niyo po kami hanggang alas 2 ng hapong ito. And first 2 hours ng ating programa, kami po ang inyong makakasama. This is Teacher Mai Resma.
And I'm Teacher Drew Manuel.
Samahan niyo po kami hanggang alas 12 ng tanghaling ito. At mamaya po makakasama ninyo ang nagbabalik na si Nanay Lor.
Kasama si Teacher Given Hinampas.
Ayan. And since it's Tuesday, Sir Drew, ang ating featured subject for today po is Mathematics. Kaya naman sa lahat ng ating mga grade 5, grade 6,
7 and 8 ay tumutok na para sa ating 4-lesson presentation for today. And speaking of our learners, feel free to notify us with our attendance by filling out our attendance link for today, which is the https://tinyurl.com/Radyo Z-Eskwela May 4. Again, our attendance link ay naka-flash yan sa ating mga FB screens at nakapin din sa ating mga comment box sections sa ating FB pages. And speaking of FB pages, since we are on air sa atong paboritong stasyon din sa Z Radio 88.5, we have our cross-line streaming gamit ang FB application. All you have to do is to like and subscribe our FB pages such as the Z Radio 88.5, DepEd Division of Davao de Oro, and the Radyo Z-Eskwela DepEd Davao de Oro. So like and subscribe na, and of course, i-follow nyo din kami sa aming YouTube channel, which is the Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. And with this YouTube channel, Teacher Mai, yung ating mga learners, wag nang mag-alala pa dahil if you missed this episode, you can review all our downloaded lesson presentations gunad pa sa pag-start sa ito ang school year 2020-2021.
Yes, so maraming thank you Sir Drew for that information. So pretty sure no nga nakatutok na ang atong mga grade 5 learners karon tungod kay our first lesson presentation is para po sa inyo at promise namin na ang ating content presenter makakasama natin live right after her presentation. Kaya kung meron po kayong mga questions no with regards sa ating topic nga measures time using 12-hour and 24-hour clock, kung dura mo yung mga kalibog, andam kaay mo tubag ang ating content presenter ni Ana later. Maunang manatili pa rin pong naka-tune in sa inyong paboritong programa. And now let's begin our first lesson.
Ayan, so we will feature our first lesson presentation with Mathematics 5. And the topic for this one, as you said, Teacher Mai, measures time using the 12-hour and 24-hour clock. makakasama natin dito bilang content presenter, isang teacher 1 from San Roque Elementary School, New Bataan District. We have Ma'am Lateral T. Velos.
Alas 10:32 na po, marvel on how surprisingly easy and fun learning mathematics is with your MATH-TINIK teachers. Together, let's make our day math saya. Kaya naman po,
Tara na, magklase na ta!
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Davao de Oro. Welcome to Z-Radio 88.5 radio station, where you enjoy and have fun while learning at the same time. Welcome to Mathematics 5. To our grade 5 learners and to our avid listeners of Z-Radio 88.5 radio station, we are delighted to be with you again. I am Ma'am Lateral Velos, and I will be your teacher in Mathematics 5 from San Roque Elementary School, New Bataan. Today, we are learning about measures time using 12-hour and 24-hour clock. As we start our lesson this morning, please make yourself comfortable. Find a place where you are able to listen and focus during the discussion. Now get your notebook or paper, ball pen or pencil, and most importantly, your module in Mathematics 5. So, what are we waiting for? Sit down and listen carefully. Before we will start our lesson this morning, let's have a review first. I will read the direction. Complete the following numerical series. Again, complete the following numerical series based on the given numbers. Number 1. The given numbers are 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. Again, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. What are the following numerical series? Number 2. The given numbers are 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11. What are the next two numerical series? Again, the numbers given are 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. What are the next two numerical series? Number 3, the given numbers are 16, 22, 19, 26, 22, 30, and 25. What are the next two numbers? Again, 16, 22, 19, 26, 22, 30, 25. What are the next two numbers? Number 4. The given numbers are 12, 16, 48, 52, 156, 160. What are the next two numbers? Again, 12, 16, 48, 52, 156, 160. What are the next two numerical numbers or series? Number 5. The given are 22, 28, 21, 27, 20, 26, and 19. What are the two numbers next? Again, 22, 28, 21, 27, 20, 26, and 19. What are the next two numbers? Let's check your answers. The instruction given is to complete the following numerical series. For number 1, the given numbers are 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and then 18. The next two numerical series or numbers are 20 and 22. That is the answer. Number 2, the given numbers are 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11. And the answer for number 2 are 13 and 14. For number 3, the given numbers are 16, 22, 19, 26, 22, 30, 25. And the answer for number 3 are 34 and 28. For number 4, the given numbers are 12, 16, 48, 52, 156, and 160. And the answer for number 4 are 480 and 484. And lastly, for number 5, the given numbers are 22, 28, 21, 27, 20, 26, and 19. And the next two numerical series are 25 and 18. Great job, kids! How many answers did you get? If you got a perfect score, then congratulations. But if not, don't worry, for you will surely understand this interesting lesson as long as you listen carefully along with our discussion. Now write your score on top of your paper or notebook. So, let's go and continue. In every day, we have different activities that we are doing, and it takes us time, like washing our hands, playing with friends, watching TV, and even doing bicycling. Everything that we do takes us time. Talking about time, what is 12-hour clock system? And what is a 24-hour clock system? Do you have any idea what are these? The 12-hour clock system. The original 12-hour system used by the Egyptians and Greeks was 12 hours of night and 12 hours of day, with the hour length actually changing with the seasons. The 12 number actually comes from Egyptian-style finger counting, where you count each of 3 knuckles on 4 fingers. 4 times 3 equals 12. The 24-hour clock system. In the military world, a slight confusion of time interpretation can be fatal. Therefore, the military had to improvise a time system which reduces any chances of ambiguity. This brought the adoption of the military system, also known as the 24-hour clock system. The reason airlines, public transit, and the armed forces use 24-hour military time is to avoid confusion between AM and PM hours. The 12-hour clock and the 24-hour clock. When we talk about the 12-hour clock, the hours go from 12 to 12 twice a day, from 1 a.m. to 12 noon, and then from 1 p.m. to 12 midnight. You must use AM or PM. AM is before noon, while PM is after noon. On the other hand, the 24-hour clock, the hours go from 0 to 23. The numbers 0-100 hours to 2359 hours. Time is always shown as 4 digits. You don't use AM or PM. This is an example of a time scale of a 24-hour time and a 12-hour time. The upper numbers are 24-hour time, which is also called as military time. It starts from 0-100 hours until 2300 hour 59, while the lower part, which is a 12-hour clock, is known to us as civilian time. It starts from 12 a.m. midnight and ends at 11:59 p.m. The antemeridium are commonly known to us as AM, which is morning or before noon. I have here a table which shows the 24-hour check and a 12-hour check. In 24-hour check, the time starts at 0000 hours, while in the 12-hour check, the time starts at 12 midnight. In 24-hour check, we say the time as 0000 hours, 0100 hours, 0200 hours, 0300 hours, 0400 hours, and so on, up until 2300 hours, and then it goes back again to 0000 hours as a new day. Now, why is that 0000 hours is the same as 12 midnight? Simply because it's a new day. Midnight is the very beginning of the new day. We have counted a full 24 hours. The day is over, so we start counting again from 0. That is why 0000 hours is the same as 12 midnight. This shows the table of a 24-hour check and a 12-hour check. In a 12-hour check, the time has AM and PM. On the other hand, AM and PM is not applicable in a 24-hour check. Now for post-meridium, or also known to us as PM, in 12-hour check, after 12 p.m., the time starts again at 1 p.m. up until 11 p.m. Unlike 24-hour check, for PM times, we keep on counting to 23, from 1200 hours up until 2300 hours, then start again at 0000 hours for a new day. Now what about the minutes? In 24-hour time, the minutes don't change. Say for example, in a 12-hour time, we say it as 1:15 a.m. And in a 24-hour time, we say it as 0115 hours. In a 12-hour time, we say it as 2:45 a.m. And in a 24-hour clock, we say it as 0245 hours. Another example we have 6:24 p.m. While in the 24-hour clock, we say it as 1824 hours. And lastly, we have here 8:30 p.m. And in the 24-hour clock, we say it as 2030 hours. What is the easiest way to tell military time or 24-hour time? We have here some example of a 12-hour time and a 24-hour time. In 12-hour time, 1 a.m. is 0100 hours in a 24-hour time. 11:45 a.m. is 1145 hours in a 24-hour time, while 2:35 p.m. is 1435 hours in 24-hour time, and 5:20 p.m. is 1720 hours in a 24-hour time. Now what have you observed? Notice that you only add 12 into the PM times. Convert 12-hour time to 24-hour time. I give you an example of a 12-hour time, 1 p.m. and 11:59 p.m. If you want to convert 12-hour time to 24-hour time, just add 12. So in our example, 1 plus 12 is equals to 13, and we say it as 1300 hours. Another one, we have 11:59 plus 12 is equals to 23:59, and we say it as 2359 hours. How about if we convert 24-hour time to 12-hour time? In our example, we have here a 24-hour time, which are 2100 hours and 2259 hours. If you want to convert 24-hour time to 12-hour time, you just subtract 12. So, 21 minus 12, the answer is 9, which is in 12-hour time, it is already 9 p.m. Another one we have 22:59. We will subtract 12, so it is equals to 10:59. And in 12-hour time, it is already 10:59 p.m. Now let's talk about time intervals. To calculate time interval, you need to count forward. Example, find the interval between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. Now the time is 4 a.m. Before it strikes at 7 a.m., the clock hits at 5 a.m., which has 1 hour interval. And then it goes to 6 a.m., another 1 hour interval. And from 6 a.m., it will strikes at 7 a.m., which is another 1 hour interval. A total of 3 hours interval. So the total number hours of interval of 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. is 3 hours. How about the time interval for minutes? To find out how many minutes there are between two time intervals and the time are in the same hour, subtract the hours and minutes. In our example, we have to find out the intervals of 4:15 a.m. to 4:45 a.m. So we have to take first the hour, which is 4 hours, and then the other one is 4. So 4 minus 4, the answer is 0. And then the minutes, we have 45 minutes and 15 minutes. So 45 minus 15, the answer is 30 minutes. Now, the final answer is 30 minutes interval between 4:15 a.m. to 4:45 a.m.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Now let's have some drill exercise. We have to calculate the time intervals. So in a 12-hour, the given time is 8:15 a.m. and 9:15 a.m. You have to find out the intervals between these two times. And another one in 24-hour time is 0315 hours and 0425 hours. So you have to find out if how many time intervals in these numbers. Let's check your answers. In the given time, there are 8:15 a.m. and 9:15 a.m. Now we have to find out what is their time interval. So first, we have to take the hours. Now, we will subtract the two numbers since we are going to find out what is their time interval. 9 minus 8 is equals to 1. So there are 1 hour interval. Another one is the minutes. So the minutes given are 15 and 15 minutes. So 5 minus 5 is equals to 0, and then 1 minus 1 is equals to 0. So the final answer for the time interval of 8:15 and 9:15 a.m. is 1 hour. For number 2, we have to look for the time intervals between 0315 hours and 0425 hours. So first, we will subtract the hours. The given hours are 4 and 3. So 4 minus 3 is equals to 1. So there are 1 hour interval. And then the next one, we have minutes. So there are 25 minutes and 15 minutes. So we will subtract the 2. 5 minus 5 is equals to 0. Then 2 minus 1 is equals to 1. So the time interval between the two time, 0315 hours and 0425 hours is 1 hour and 10 minutes interval. Do you have relatives or friends working in other countries? Maybe some of you have, or maybe you know someone. How often do you communicate with them? Is it always, sometimes, or what? Do you know what time it is in their country when you call them? Did you ask them or what? Now let's have our activity. Anna lives in the Philippines and her mother works in Dubai. She called her mother at 1600 hours, but she was just answered by the answering machine. She remembered that her mother will not be home until 1800 hours in Dubai. If the time difference between Dubai and Philippines is 4 hours, what time should Anna call her mother? Now answer these questions. For number 1, we have what is asked. Again, for number 1 question, what is asked? Next is what are given. Again, what are given? Last question, what is the answer? Again, what is the answer? Let us check your answer. The first question is, what is asked? And the answer for that is, what time should Anna call her mother? Again, the answer for what is asked is, what time should Anna call her mother? The next question is, what are given? And the given numbers are 1600 hours, which is Philippines time, 1800 hours, Dubai time, and 4 hours, which is their time difference. Again, the given numbers are 1600 hours, 1800 hours, and 4 hours. Last question is, what is the answer? Given that the 1600 hours is the Philippines time, 1800 hours is the Dubai time, and 4 hours is their time difference. Since the given time are in 24-hour clock, we have to convert it to 12-hour time. So, 1600 hours minus 12 is equals to 4. So at that time, by 4 p.m., Anna called her mother. Another one is 1800 hours. Minus 12 is equals to 6. So by 6 p.m., her mother would be home. Since 6 p.m. is the time where her mother would be home, and then 4 hours is the time difference between Philippines and Dubai, because Philippines is ahead of 4 hours time from Dubai. Now we are looking for the Philippines time, so we will add these two numbers. 6 plus 4 equals 10. Now, the question is, what time should Anna call her mother? So the answer is 10 p.m. So by 10 p.m., Anna should call her mother. Did you understand our lesson? Now let me ask you some questions. How time differ from civilian clock and military clock? A civilian clock, or commonly known as 12-hour clock, basically uses AM and PM. From 1 AM to 12 noon, and then from 1 PM to 12 midnight. Unlike the military clock or a 24-hour clock, the hours go from 0 to 23. It does not use AM or PM. And the next question is, how will you convert time from 12-hour clock to to 24-hour clock and vice versa. In converting time from 12-hour clock to 24-hour clock, you just simply add 12. Example, if in civilian time, it is already 2 p.m., now if you want to make it a military time, we will add 12. So 2 plus 12 is equals to 14. Since we are going to look for 24-hour time, we will read it as 1400 hours. While if you convert 24-hour clock to 12-hour clock, just subtract 12. Example, if the military time is already at 2300 hours, what time it is in a civilian time? So, 2300 hours minus 12 is equals to 11. Since it is a 12-hour time, we will add PM or we will put PM. So the answer is 11 p.m. Did you learn something? Now let's try this evaluation. John stayed at the Philippines for 10 years. He was about to board a flight at 0845 hours going to Saudi. His flight was to take 10 hours and 11 minutes to reach the destination. If the Philippines time is ahead of 4 hours from Saudi, at what time will John reach his destination? Convert it to 12-hour clock. Now answer these questions. First question is, what is asked? Again, what is asked? Second question we have, what are given? Again, what are given? And lastly, the question is, what is the answer? Again, what is the answer? This time, let us check your answers. The first question is, what is asked? And the answer for this is, at what time will John reach his destination? Again, the answer is, at what time will John reach his destination? The next question is, what are given? And the given numbers are 0845 hours is the time where John boarded the flight, and then 10 hours and 11 minutes is the travel time, and 4 hours is the time difference. Again, 0845 hours, 10 hours and 11 minutes, and 4 hours. And for the last question, what is the answer? Given that 0845 hours is the time where John boarded the flight and 10 hours and 11 minutes is the travel time, we will add the two given numbers to calculate what time will John arrive at his destination. So we will take first the hours, 10 plus 8. So 0 plus 8 is 8. We'll bring down 1. So the answer is 18. And then the minutes time, we have 11 minutes and 45 minutes. 1 plus 5 equals 6. And then 1 plus 4 equals 5. So by 1856 hours, John will reach his destination in Philippines time. Since 1856 is the Philippines time where John reached Saudi, we will subtract 4 hours because Saudi is behind 4 hours time in Philippines. And the question is, what time will John reach his destination? So we will subtract 1856 into 4. Now we will bring down 6 and then 5. 8 minus 4 is equals to 4, and then bring down 1. So the answer is 1456 hours. John will arrive at Saudi. So by 1456 hours, John will arrive at Saudi. Since the time is in 24-hour clock system, we will convert it into 12-hour time. So 1456 hours subtracted by 12, we will calculate this one. So 6 minus 0 is 6, 5 minus 0 is 5, 4 minus 2 is 2, and then 1 minus 1, 0. So the time will John arrive at his destination is 2:56 p.m. So the final answer is, by 2:56 p.m., John will arrive at Saudi. Alright, that's it, kids. Did you learn something from our lesson? Did you guys have some fun? Hope you guys learned a lot and enjoy our lesson today. Thank you for listening. Keep safe and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive and Technical Working Committee. The school's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. Curriculum Implementation Division OIC Chief, Dr. Arlene B. Lim. School Governance and Operations Division, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Program Director, Dr. Arlene B. Lim. Assistant Program Director, Noemi P. Canales. Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opena, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Sikinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Dr. Renato N. Pakpakin, Dr. Andy P. Cabodok, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Ryan Villanueva, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Daylan S. Milabat, Medard D. Apit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Production and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judiland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen C. Manuel, Irene Leia C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banyes. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Lanara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo C. Gutierrez Jr., Jade Karen R. Arais, Eliza May Garsuta, Sedi S. Caballero, and Jane S. Caballero. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Right and only here at Z Radio 88.5, ang istasyong siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw.
Oras na to karon mga kazi, it's already 5 minutes after alas 11 po ng umaga. Again, alas 11:05 na ang atong oras karon. And yes, Sir Drew.
Yes, so this time, natapos na natin ang ating first lesson presentation. It's about Mathematics 5 na may topic na measures time using 12-hour and 24-hour clock. So we would like to say thank you to our content presenter, isang teacher one from San Roque Elementary School, New Bataan District. We have Ma'am Lochile T. Velos.
And as promised kanina mga kazi, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga dear learners, live na live po nating makakasama today. Oo, si Teacher Lochile, kung saan sasagutin po niya ang ilan nating mga katanungan na nagmula po sa ating mga listeners and viewers. So without much ado, let us welcome once again Teacher Lochile T. Velos. Ayan,
Hi,
hello!
Hello, Ma'am.
Maayong buntag.
Sir Drew, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Welcome back sa ato ang programa. So karon ma'am, andam na nga tubagon ang ato ang mga pangutana.
Yes, Teacher Mai, andam na.
Okay, so sa lahat ng ating mga learners, ayan, makinig rin po kayo. For our first question po, para sa ating topic na measures time using 12-hour and 24-hour clock. Una po nating tanong, what is a 12-hour time or a civilian time? And what is a 24-hour time or a military time?
Okay, Teacher Mai. So a 12-hour time, or commonly known to as a civilian time, has 12 hours time. So it is used or first used in Egyptian time and Greek time. It has 12 hours clock. And then the 24-hour clock has 24 hours time, which was improvised by the military to avoid ambiguity because a slight confusion can be fatal. So they use it as their tactics. So from 0-100 hours up until 2300 hours, so 24 hours.
Okay, so that's the difference. Okay, what are the difference between 12-hour clock system and 24-hour clock system?
So when we talk about their differences, a 12-hour clock has a 12 hours of night and 12 hours of day, from 1 p.m. up until 12 noon, and then 1 a.m. up until 12 noon, and then 1 p.m. up until 12 midnight. Unlike to the 24-hour clock, it starts from 0-100 hours up until 2300 hours. And then aside from that, their differences is that the 12 hours clock uses AM or PM, while the 24-hour clock does not apply AM or PM.
Diretso lang.
Okay, so now why a 24-hour clock is better than a 12-hour clock?
Yes, Teacher Mai. Why is that 24-hour clock is better than 12-hour clock? Simply because the 24-hour clocks removes the ambiguity associated with AM or PM usage. And it makes us easier to identify the time and the time zones, which has in 12 hours time, we will use AM and PM. Unlike in 24 hours time, we don't need to ask or specify if it's 8 o'clock is AM or PM.
That's right.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, next question, Ma'am Lochali. How to calculate time interval?
So when calculating time intervals, we need at least 2 given times. Say for example, the time given is 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. So we need to find their time intervals. We have to first subtract these two numbers, given that 9 a.m. and 7 a.m. is the numbers we need to calculate. So 9 minus 7 is 2. So the answer is 2 hours interval.
Okay. And for our last question, how to solve or convert time from 24-hour clock to 12-hour clock and vice versa?
Okay, when we have to convert 24-hour clock to 12-hour clock, first we need to have a number or time. So if the example given is in 24-hour clock, so 2300 hours, we have to subtract 12. So 2300 hours minus 12, the answer is 11. So in 12 hours time, that is 11 p.m. Now if you want to convert 12 hours clock to 24-hour clock, we have to add 12. So say for example, we have 3 p.m. So we add 12 in that time. So 3 p.m. plus 12 is equals to 1500 hours. But remember, we will only add or subtract 12. It is in PM or post-meridian time. Because in AM or an anti-meridian, we do not need or add 12 or subtract 12. Because in AM time, in 12 hours time, we will say 3 a.m., 4 p.m., and in 24 hours time, we just simply say 0300 hours, 0400 hours. So there's no need for us to add or subtract 12. That's it.
Okay, so thank you so much, Teacher Lochali Velos. No? So hopefully, mas nasabtan sa atong mga grade 5 learners nga nasa ilang mga tagsa-tagsa ka mga panimalay karon. Ang ato ang topic nga measures time using 12-hour and 24-hour clock. So once again, congratulations po. And before we say goodbye to you, basin doon na kayo mga buot pasalamatan, Teacher Lochali.
Yes, first of all, I would like to thank God for everything, kaya siya magandang tinubdan ng tanan. And then sa among DCP, School Principal 4, Sir Jumedisi Kalikdan, and sa akong mga kauban, Tatak Esres sa San Roque, Jubataan, and then sa akong family, Velos, akong mga friends. O kato lang.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Teacher Lochali. So, see you around sa mga next month po.
Sir and Teacher Mai.
Opo, so maraming salamat at ingat ka po, ma'am, sa imuhang pagbiyahe po. Okay, so it's already 11:11 mga kazi. Singit lang nato kay Sir Drew ang ato ang mga pag-greetings before we proceed sa ating next lesson presentation.
That's right, Teacher Mai. So we would like to greet Ma'am Rosemary Bandola Cancho of Macu Heights Central Elementary School, RV Resonar Item. Shout out then on-site Filipino teachers of Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School, Ma'am Melds, Ma'am Abby, Ma'am Bell, Ma'am Glindy, Ma'am Marilyn, and Sir Arnel. And good morning also to Dr. Mervy Vertusio, School Principal 4 of Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School. And at the same time, shout out Sir Ian C. Melendres, Head Teacher 3 of the NNCHS of Filipino Department. And lastly, happy birthday, John Michael Mendoza.
Ayan, happy birthday! At sa iba nating mga Zuking listeners nga nag-celebrate karon sa ilang mga adlaw na tawhan, happy birthday po sa inyo. 11:12 na po and we will now proceed sa ating next lesson presentation.
Yes, and our second lesson presentation for today, it's about Mathematics 6 na may topic na surface area. And makakasama natin dito bilang content presenter, isang Teacher 1 from Pongpong Integrated School, Sir Joseph T. Babag. And together with his creative resource material developer, isang Teacher 1 naman of Maragusan District, we have Aris May H. Olandria.
Ayan muli mga kazi, alas 11:12 na po. Marvel and how surprisingly easy and fun learning mathematics is. With your mathematic teachers, con MATH-TINIK teachers, together, let's make our day matsaya. Kaya naman po,
tara na, magklase na ta!
Good morning, Davao de Oro. Good morning, grade 6 learners. Welcome to our radio-based instruction in Mathematics 6 in collaboration with Radio Z-Eskwela and Z-Radio 88.5. Siguradong kuyaw, siguradong lingaw. This is your teacher in Mathematics 6, Teacher Joseph Babag, bringing you another fun and exciting math-amazing lessons and activities today. So, make yourselves comfortable and make sure that you can hear this broadcast clearly. Please prepare also all the necessary materials like your module, notebook, and ballpen. As we start our lesson, be sure to listen attentively and follow all the instructions in every activity. At the end of the session, you are expected to achieve the following objectives. Find the surface area of cubes, prisms, pyramids, cylinders, cones, and spheres. Solves word problem involving measurement of surface area. So, are you ready to learn another math-amazing lesson today? Very good! Prior to our lessons, can you recall what are the properties and examples of solid figures? Well, let us activate your prior knowledge about our topic today by answering our first activity. In your notebook, write only the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. Solid figures are three-dimensional objects having length, width, and height. Again, solid figures are three-dimensional objects having length, width, and height. A. True. B. False. C. Maybe. Number 2. Prisms, pyramids, cylinders, spheres are example of space figures. Again, prisms, pyramids, cylinders, and spheres are example of space figures. A. Is it true? B. False? Or letter C. Maybe. Number 3. What type of solid figure that has two circular bases that are congruent and parallel? What type of solid figure that has two circular bases that are congruent and parallel? A. Is it cylinder? B. Sphere? C. Prism. Next number 4. Blank is a curved surface of points that are all the same distance from the center. Blank is a curved surface of points that are all the same distance from the center. A. Is it cylinder? B. A cone? Or letter C. A sphere. for the last number 5, which of the following composed of 2 triangular bases and 3 rectangular lateral faces? Again, which of the following composed of 2 triangular bases and 3 rectangular lateral faces? A. Is it rectangular prism? B. A triangular prism? Or letter C. A pentagonal prism? Time's up! Let's check your answers. For item number 1, solid figures are 3-dimensional objects having length, width, and height. What do you think is the answer? If your answer is letter A, well, you are correct. For item number 2, prisms, pyramids, cylinders, spheres are example of space figures. What is your answer? If your answer is letter A, well, you are correct. And number 3, what type of solid figures that has 2 circular bases that are congruent and parallel? Well, the answer is letter A, cylinder. Number 4, blank is a curved surface of points that are all of the same distance from the center. What do you think is the answer? Very good. The answer is letter C, a sphere. And for the last item, which of the following composed of 2 triangular bases and 3 rectangular lateral faces? If your answer is letter B, well, you got it right. It's triangular prism. And for our second activity, identify the solid figure that is represented by real objects. Ready? Number 1, ice cream cone. Number 2, an orange. Number 3, a showbox. And number 4, a coin. Number 5, a soccer ball. Number 6, a dice. Number 7, a can of milk. Number 8, a globe. Number 9, a box of chocolate. And number 10, water tank. Ballpens up, let's see if you get the correct answers. For a solid figure number 1, ice cream cone. What is your answer? Very good. The answer is cone. For number 2, a solid figure orange represents, very good, a sphere. Number 3, a solid figure showbox represents, correct, it's rectangular prism. Number 4, a coin, correct, it's cylinder. And for number 5, a soccer ball. You got it right, it's sphere. And for number 6, a dice. Very good, it's cube. And for number 7, a can of milk. Correct, it's cylinder. Number 8, a globe. If your answer is sphere, then you are correct. Number 9, a box of chocolate. If your answer is triangular prism or rectangular prism, well, you are correct. And for the last item, water tank, very good, it's cylinder. Now, take a look around. Solid figures are everywhere around us. What this means is that solid figures have a width, a depth, and a height. For example, look at your cell phone, computer, television, radio, or whatever else you are using to view or listen our lesson. This may make you think that solid figures are probably quite common in the environment around us. And you are right. Since solid figures are three-dimensional objects, meaning they take up space in our universe. Let's start the concrete discussion of our new lesson today by defining surface area that solid figures take up. What does surface area means? Yes, surface area is the sum of the areas of the base and the lateral faces of a space or solid figure. And one way to find the surface area of a solid figure is to find the area of its nets. You can measure area in square units such as centimeters squared, feet squared, meters squared, and other units. But what are the formulas in finding the surface area of cubes, prisms, pyramids, cylinders, cones, and spheres? When you find the surface area of a prism, it is a good idea to find the lateral area first. Yes, the lateral area of a prism is the product of the perimeter of the base and height, and that is lateral area equals PH, or lateral area equals perimeter times height. Thus, the surface area of a prism is the sum of the lateral and the area of the two bases, or surface area equals lateral area plus 2b. Now, if we want to know the surface area of a cylinder, what formula we are going to use? For the surface area of a cylinder, we need to find first the lateral area. The lateral area of a cylinder is a product of the circumferences of the base and the height of the cylinder. That is, lateral area equals 2 pi RH, or lateral area equals 2 pi times radius times height. Thus, the surface area of a cylinder is the sum of the lateral area and the areas of the two bases, or surface area equals lateral area plus 2b. But how about the surface area of a pyramid? Yes, the surface area of a pyramid is the sum of the lateral area and the area of the base. Again, when we say surface area of a pyramid, it is the sum of the lateral area and the area of the base. And to find the surface area of a pyramid, we need to find the lateral area and the area of the base. Then we are going to add. Therefore, we have surface area equals lateral area plus b, or base. Next is the surface area of a cone. How to get the surface area of this solid figure? Yes, the surface area of the cone is the sum of the lateral area and the area of its base. Thus, we have surface area equals pi rs plus pi r squared. But how about the surface area of a sphere? Well, the area of the circle that contains the center of the sphere is pi r squared. And to get the surface area of a sphere with radius, or r, we will use this formula. And that formula is surface area equals 4 pi r squared. Now let's consider these examples. For example number 1, find the surface area of the triangular prism. The shape of the base is a triangle with sides 12 meters, 7 meters, and 10 meters. The height of the prism is 14 meters. Now let's try to understand the solution. For step 1, find the lateral area using the formula. We have lateral area equals PH, or perimeter times height. Now we have the perimeter, which is 12 plus 7 plus 100 multiplied by the height, which is 14. Then we get 406 meters squared. Since we have the lateral area, the next thing that we need to do is to find the surface area by using this formula. Surface area equals lateral area plus 2b. Then we get lateral area plus 2 open parenthesis 1/2 times base times height. Remember that our base is a triangle. So to find the base, let's consider letter B, or the base, is equal to 1/2 times B, or the base, times height, where B is the base and H is the height of the triangle. So we have 406 plus 2 open parenthesis 1/2 times 12 times 4. So we multiplied 2 by 1/2 times 12 times 4. Then we get 48. Next is we add 48 and 406, and we have 454 meters squared. This means that the surface of the triangular prism is 454 meters squared. Now let's proceed to our second example. Find the surface area of the can of milk with a radius of 1.5 centimeter and a height of 4 centimeter. Use pi, which is equals to 3.14. Now let's proceed to the solution. For step 1, we need to find the lateral area first, and we are going to use the formula for lateral area, which is lateral area equals 2 pi RH. Now we have 2 times the value of pi, which is 3.14, multiplied by 1.5 times 4. Then we get 37.68 centimeters squared. Now we have the lateral area, so we have to proceed to our step 2, which is finding the surface area. We have surface area equals lateral area plus 2b. Now we have lateral area plus 2 pi r squared. The lateral area is 37.68 plus 2 and the value of pi, which is 3.14, multiplied by 1.5 squared. Now we have 51.81 centimeters squared. This means that the surface area of the can is 51.81 centimeters squared. And for the third example, find the surface area of the right square pyramid with a base of 25 meters and a height of 32 meters. Now let's proceed to the solution. For step 1, we need to find the lateral area. There are 4 congruent lateral faces. Now let's find the areas of the triangles using lateral area equals 4 open parenthesis 1/2 times base times height and close parenthesis. So we have lateral area equals 4 times 1/2 multiplied by our base, which is 25, times 32, which is the height. So, the lateral area is 1,600 meters squared. And for our step 2, find the surface area using the formula surface area equals lateral area plus b, or the base. Take note that the base is a square. So, we need to solve this by using base equals s squared, or s times s. Then we get 25 times 25, then our base is 625 meters squared. So, the area of the base is 625 meters squared. So we have surface area equals lateral area plus b. Our lateral area is 1,600 and our base is 625. We add these numbers, then we get the surface area equals 2,225 meters squared. Thus, the surface area of the pyramid is 2,225 meters squared. And for our fourth example, find the surface area of the ice cream cone with a radius of 2 cm and a slant height of 6 cm. Use pi, which is 3.14. For step 1, you are going to find the lateral area by using the formula lateral area equals pi rs. Now we have lateral area equals 3.14, which is the value of pi, times 2, which is our radius, and 6, which is the slant height. Now we have 2 times 6, we have 12. So we multiply 3.14 by 12, then we get the lateral area of 37.68 centimeter square. Now let's proceed to the step 2. Find the surface area and use the formula surface area equals lateral area plus b. Now we have surface area equals lateral area plus b. Surface area equals 37.68 plus 3.14 multiplied by 2 squared. 3.14 multiplied by 4, the answer is 12.56. Now we have 37.68 plus 12.56. Then we get surface area equals 50.24 centimeters squared. This means that the surface area of the cone is 50.24 centimeters squared. For example number 5, find the surface area of the basketball with a radius of 4.89 decimeter and round your answer to the nearest tenths. Now try to observe the solution. We need to use the formula surface area equals 4 pi r squared to find the surface area. Now we have surface area equals 4 pi r squared. We have 4 multiplied by 3.14, which is the value of pi, times 4.89 squared, which is the radius. Surface area equals 4 times 3.14 multiplied by 23.9121. Then we get 4 times 75.083994. Then we get the answer 300.335976 or 300.3. This means that the surface area of the basketball is approximately 300.3 decimeter square. I hope you get it. Do you have any clarifications? Feel free to ask, but as for now, we will take a short break. When we come back, let us solve problems involving surface area or different solid figures. So, Don't go away, stay tuned so that you won't miss any significant part of our lesson. I will be right back.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
And we are back. Sit back and relax as we continue our lesson discussion. Just a few minutes ago, you have learned the different formulas in finding the surface area of different space figures. This time, we will be applying all that you have learned by solving word problems involving measurement of surface area. So, here we go. You will be solving the word problem. Can you recall the steps in solving word problems? That's great! In solving word problems, we need to follow the following steps such as understand the problem, next, plan the problem, then solve the problem, and lastly is looking back or checking of your answer. Now, are you ready? Good! So, let's start. In your notebook, take note the given problem, then solve. For problem number 1, John works in a company that makes tents. His boss assigned him to design tents for mountaineers. He needs to keep them light. To decide what fabrics are acceptable to mountaineers, he needs to know the amount of fabric it takes to construct a rectangular pyramid tent with 4 meters by 1.5 meter base and a height of 3 meters. How much fabric is required to construct this tent? Now let's solve this problem by using the steps in solving the problem. Now we have first, understand. What is asked in the problem? Very good. The measure of fabric required to construct a tent. And what are the given? Yes, the given are a rectangular pyramid with 4 meters by 1.5 meter base and height of 3 meters. The next thing that we need to do is to plan. Which formula or formulas shall we use to solve the problem? Very good. We are going to use the formula surface area equals lateral area plus base to find the surface area of the rectangular pyramid. Take note, since the shape of the tent is a rectangular pyramid, there are 4 faces with different measurements. Left and right faces has the same measure. Front and back faces has the same measure too. Considering the formula, surface area equals lateral area plus base, where surface area equals the lateral area, which is 2 open parenthesis 1/2 times width times height, which is our left and right faces, plus 2 open parenthesis 1/2 times length times height, which is our front and back, plus length times width, which is our base and the area of the rectangular base. Now let's proceed to our solution. We have surface area equals 2 open parenthesis 1/2 times width times height close parenthesis plus 2 open parenthesis 1/2 times length times height close parenthesis plus length times width. Now we have 2 open parenthesis 1/2 times 1.5, which is our width, multiplied by 3, which is our height, plus 2 open parenthesis 1/2 times 4, which is our length, multiplied by 3, which is the value of the height, plus 4, which is our length of the base, multiplied by 1.5, which is our width. Remember that we need to solve first the numbers inside the parentheses. Now we have 1/2 times 1.5 times 3, we get 2.25. Next, we have 1/2 times 4 times 3, we get 6. And for the length multiplied by width, we have 4 times 1.5, then we have 6. So we get 2 times 2.25, we have 4.5, plus 2 times 6, we have 12, added 2, 6. Now we have 4.5 plus 12 plus 6, then we have the surface area equals 22.5 meters squared. This means that the amount of fabric needed to construct a rectangular pyramid tent is 22.5 meters squared. And for the last step in solving the problem, of course, we need to check our solution. Go back to our computation. Let's check if the given dimensions are properly substituted to the formula. Check also the flow of the computation. Now let's continue to our second problem. For problem number 2, suppose you want to produce basketballs with 4.89 decimeter radius. What is the least amount of rubber you would need if you want to produce 20 basketballs? Use pi equals 3.14. Now let's start by understanding the problem. What is asked? Correct. The problem asks for the amount of rubber needed to produce 20 basketballs. And what are the given facts? Correct. The given facts are radius of 4.89 decimeters. Now, let us plan. Which formula or formulas shall we use to solve the problem? Very good observations. The ball is a sphere. So we need to use the formula surface area equals 4 pi r squared to find the surface area of the ball. Now let's do the solution of the problem. Surface area equals 4 pi r squared. We have 4 times 3.14, which is the value of pi, times 4.89 squared, which is the radius. Then we get 4 times 3.14 times 23.9121. Next is we multiply 4 by 3.14, then we have 12.56. Multiply this by 23.9121. Then we get the surface area equals 300.335976 decimeters squared. In this case, you need to produce 20 basketballs, so we need to multiply the surface area 300.335976 by 20. Then we get 6,006.71952 or 6,006.7 square decimeters. This means that you need at least 6,006.7 square decimeters of rubber for 20 balls. Lastly, check your answer. Go back to your computation. Check if the given dimensions are properly substituted to the formula, and check also the flow of the computations. For our next problem, problem number 3, about how much metal was used to make a tuna can with a diameter of 12 cm and height of 5 cm. Again, about how much metal was used to make a tuna can with a diameter of 12 cm and a height of 5 cm. Now let's understand the problem. What is asked? Correct! The amount of metal used for the tuna can. And what are the given facts in the problem? Yes, the tuna can has a diameter of 12 cm and height of 5 cm. Next, we need to plan for the problem. Which formula shall we use to solve the problem? Very good. The can of tuna is a cylinder. This means that we need to use the formula surface area equals lateral area plus 2b, or surface area equals 2 pi rh plus 2 pi r squared. Since a diameter is equal to 2 times the radius, we have a 6 cm radius. Next, let us solve by using the formula. Surface area equals 2 pi rh plus 2 pi r squared. Now we have 2 times 3.14, which is the value of pi, times 6, which is the radius, and height of 5, plus 2 multiplied by 3.14, which is the value of pi, times the radius, 6 squared. Next, we have 2 times 3.14 times 30, which is the product of 6 times 5 plus 2 times 3.14 times 36. Then we have 2 times 94.2, which is the product of 3.14 multiplied by 30, plus 2 times 113.04, which is the product of 3.14 multiplied by 36. Then we get 2 times 94.2 equals 188.4, plus the product of 2 times 113.04, which is 226.08. Now we have 188.4 plus 226.08. The answer is surface area equals 414.48 centimeters squared. This means that the amount of metal used for the tuna can is 414.48 centimeters squared. Lastly, check your answer. Go back to your computation. Check if the given dimensions are properly substituted to the formula, and check also the flow of the computation. At this moment, since you already know the formulas and steps in solving problems involving measurement of solid figures, let us try another activity for you to master the knowledge of our lesson today. In your notebook, solve each problem, and you can draw an illustration if necessary. Are you ready? Now, let's start. Number 1. Jason is wrapping a present. The box he is using is a rectangular prism with a length of 18 inches, a width of 10 inches, and a height of 4 inches. Find how many square inches of paper he needs to wrap the entire box. Again, Jason is wrapping a present. The box he is using is a rectangular prism with a height of 18 inches, a width of 10 inches, and a height of 4 inches. Find how many square inches of paper he needs to wrap the entire box. Number 2. A certain music box has the shape of a cube. Each side of the music box is 15 cm long. What is the surface area of the box? Again, a certain music box has the shape of a cube. Each side of the music box is 15 centimeters long. What do you think is the surface area of the box? Number 3. A salt container has the shape of a cylinder. The radius of the container is 1.5 inches and the height of 6 inches. Find the surface area of the container. Again, a salt container has the shape of a cylinder. The radius of the container is 1.5 inches and the height of 6 inches. Find the surface area of the container. Use pi equals 3.14. Number 4. A cylinder-shaped water pitcher has a radius of 5 inches and a height of 12.5 inches. Find the surface area of the pitcher. Again, a cylinder-shaped water pitcher has a radius of 5 inches and a height of 12.5 inches. Find the surface area of the pitcher. And for the last number 5, find the amount of tin needed to make a milk tin can that has a radius of 2.5 cm and a height of 5 cm. Again, find the amount of tin needed to make a milk tin can that has a radius of 2.5 cm and a height of 5 cm. Are you all done? Good! We will check your work now. For problem number 1, Jason is wrapping a present. The box he is using is a rectangular prism with a length of 18 inches, a width of 10 inches, and a height of 4 inches. How many square inches of paper he needs to wrap the entire box? What is your answer? If your answer is 584 square inches, then your answer is correct. For problem number 2, a certain music box has the shape of a cube. Each side of the music box is 15 centimeters long. What is the surface area of the box? Very good. The answer is 1,350 centimeters squared. For problem number 3, a salt container has the shape of a cylinder. The radius of the container is 1.5 inches and the height of 6 inches. What do you think is the surface area of the container? Well, if your answer is 70.64 square inches, then you got the correct answer. And for the 4th problem, a cylinder-shaped water pitcher has a radius of 5 inches and a height of 12.5 inches. Find the surface area of the pitcher. Yes, the correct answer is 549.5 square inches. And for the last problem, number 5, find the amount of tin needed to make a milk tin can that has a radius of 2.5 cm and a height of 5 cm. Well, if your answer is 117.75 centimeters squared, then you got the correct answer. Great! That was an awesome job! For now, just relax for a while, and I'll be back very soon. If you have any clarifications about our topic, feel free to ask on comment sections or in our text hotline, for we are going to entertain it later on.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
I am back, so keep on listening too. Now, let us have a brief summary of our subject matter today. What are the formulas in finding the surface area of solid figures? Always remember that in finding the surface area of solid figures like cubes, prisms, pyramids, cylinders, cones, and spheres, remember to use these formulas. To find the surface area of a prism, the formula is surface area equals lateral area plus 2b. And to find the surface area of a cylinder, use the formula surface area equals lateral area plus 2b. And in finding the surface area of a pyramid, we're going to use the formula surface area equals lateral area plus b. And in finding the surface area of a cone, the formula is surface area equals pi rs plus pi r squared. And to find the surface area of a sphere, the formula is surface area equals 4 pi r squared. And what are the steps in solving word problems involving measurement of surface area? Yes, in solving word problems involving measurement of surface area, remember the following steps. 1. Understand the problem. 2. Plan the problem. Number 3. Solve for the problem. Lastly, is looking back or checking of your answers. You are doing great today. Congratulations for completing all the tasks. That's all for now. Thank you for listening. This is your teacher in Mathematics 6 signing off with the saying, it's more fun to learn math techniques. Goodbye!
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive and Technical Working Committee. The school's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. Curriculum Implementation Division OIC Chief, Dr. Arlene B. Lim. School Governance and Operations Division, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Program Director, Dr. Arlene B. Lim. Assistant Program Director, Noemi P. Canales. Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opena, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Sikinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Dr. Renato N. Pakpakin, Dr. Andy P. Cabodok, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Ryan Villanueva, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Daylan S. Milabat, Medard D. Apit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Production and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judiland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolivar, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen C. Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banyes. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo C. Gutierrez Jr., Jade Karen R. Arais, Eliza May Garsuta, Sedi S. Caballero, and Jane S. Caballero. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Right and only here at Z Radio 88.5, ang istasyong siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw.
Oras na to karon, it's already 3 minutes past the hour of 12. Again, alas 12:03 na sa udto mga kazi. Ug hopefully, andam na ang inyong paniudto.
Yes.
Ayan, happy lunchtime po sa inyo. Don't skip your meal at magpakabusog po kayo.
Ayan, so natapos na nating i-feature ating second lesson presentation for today, which is about the Mathematics 6 na may topic na surface area. And nais naming pasalamatan and i-congratulate ang ating content presenter for this one. Isang teacher 1 from Pongpong Integrated School dyan po sa Andap, New Bataan, si Sir Joseph T. Babag, kasama ang kanyang Creative Resource Material Developer. Isang teacher 1 coming from Maragusan District, we have Ma'am Aris May H. Olandria.
Ayan, sa lahat po ng ating mga grade 6 learners, maraming salamat, lalong-lalo na sa mga nagpadala po ng kani-kanilang mga questions. So ngayon, live na live po nating makakasama ang ating content presenter. Once again, Teacher Joseph T. Babag, Teacher 1 po, mula sa Pongpong Integrated School. Ayan, hello,
Hi,
Sir
sir.
Joseph.
Hello, sir.
May udto.
May gusto, welcome back sa ato ang programa, no? Ayan, so ready na ba si Sir Joseph nga motubag?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's begin, Sir Drew, our first question.
Okay, first question dito is, why is surface area important?
Alright, surface area is very important because it can be used in finding all of the things that are proportional to the surface area. So, for example, if you want to wrap a certain object, halimbawa, naghatag kag regalo sa imong kaila nga nag-birthday, gusto nimo nga ma-save nimo ang imong gift wrap. So, kailangan sa kuhaon sa nimo ang surface area sa object before nimo siya putuson. So, magamit nato siya in some of our daily life situations.
Oo. Okay, so thank you for that. For our second question, what is the difference between lateral area and the surface area?
Alright, when we say lateral area, it is the area of all the sides, no, excluding the base. Lahi ang base ana. When we say lateral area, these are the faces katong sa iyahang kilid. Walay labot ang base. Then when we say surface area, it is the kaning total surface area. Pasabot ana, kinatibuk-an nga sukod sa tanan nga dagway sa usa ka solid figures.
Okay.
Third question dito, Sir Joseph. What is the difference between solid figures and plane figures?
Solid figures and plane figures, no, nagkalahi na siya na ang comparison ani is sa ilahang kaning ginatawag og dimensions, no. When you say plane figures, it is a two-dimensional. Pasabot sa two-dimensional na alang say height, at the same time na pod siya length of height. When you say solid figures, it is a three-dimensional. Pasabot na siya length, na siya width, at the same time na siya height.
Okay, so for our fourth question, why is surface area measured in square units?
Alright, surface area measured in square units kay tungod ang surface area is only two-dimensional and is expressed as unit squared, no? Unit squared. Pasabot ana surface area ang katulang aping. Ang aping sa usa ka box, no? Kung ang sulod na pod ang atong pangitaon, dili na siya surface area. That is another formula pod gamiton. That is volume. Okay. Na pod to siya nga.
Okay, so Last question na ba tayo, ma'am?
Yes po.
Okay, so last question is, how do I know whether to use a lateral surface area or total surface area?
Alright, that question is referring to somewhat like a cube or a cuboid. No? When you say cuboid, na siya nagkalahi-lahi na sukod sa height, length, at the same time og ang iyang width. Halimbawa, kung gisugo ka, halimbawa nga gipapintura ka sa imong room, and ang gusto lang nimo pinturahan is ang katulang iyahang bungbong, katulang na skilid. So walay labot ang ceiling og ang floor. So that is lateral area lang na siya. Pero pag look po nimo na tanan og kuan wallpaper ang imong kwarto, apil ang ceiling ug ang iyahang salog, mogamit na tadi og surface area. Kinatibukan nga aping.
Ayan,
Total
so
surface
very
area.
clear kayo, no? So hopefully nasabtan sa ato ang mga dear learners, labaw na sa ato ang mga grade 6 learners, no? Ang ato ang lesson for today nga about surface area. Subot natong pasalamatan si Teacher Joseph T. Babag. And before ta magbabay sa iyaha, taga na to siya gigayon nga makapagpasalamat or mo-greet sa mga taong gusto niyang pasalamatan.
Alright. So daghang salamat no sa mga kaubanan diha sa Pongpong Integrated School, on-site karon ng uban kasagaran ng mga kauban, ma'am. And of course sa amo ang DCP si Sir Kalikdan, and of course sa tanang lumulupyo sa Pongpong community o Pongpong and up, no. Kumusta mo diha? And at the same time sa ako ang pamilya mayong udto, and sa ako ang content developer akong partner si Ma'am Aris. Ma'am, daghang salamat kayo, and sa tanan-tanan nga naminaw sa Z Radio, maayong udto sa inyong tanan.
Hooray! So maraming salamat po, Sir Joseph T. Babag. God bless, sir, sa imuhang biyahe, no? Pag pauli.
Amping.
Ayan, see you around. Kay always good be ni present good ni si Sir Joseph. So dagan kayong salamat once again, Teacher Joseph, for your time, no? Ug sa imuhang effort. Ayan, so congratulations. Alas 12:08 na po at narinig po natin si Teacher Joseph T. Babag, Teacher 1 mula sa Pongpong Integrated School. Sir Drew, dalawang lesson presentations na po ang ating na-air, meaning to say meron pa pong natitirang dalawa.
That's
at
right,
samahan
Teacher
niyo
Mike.
po si Nanay Lore with Teacher Given.
Yes, and they will feature the 2 lesson presentation about Mathematics 7 and Mathematics 8. And paalala lang po sa ating lahat ng ating mga learners across the province to please notify us with your attendance for today. Feel free to do the attendance in our attendance link, which is the https://tinyurl.com/Radyo Z-Eskwela May 4. So that's our attendance link, and at the same time naka-flash yan sa ating mga FB screens and nakapin din yan sa ating mga comment box sections sa ating different FB pages.
Ayan. So, nais rin pala nating batiin, no, ng isang magandang tanghali ang ating EPS, ating featured subject for today na mathematics, to Sir Renato Pakpakin. Ayan,
Hi,
hello,
sir.
sir. Maayong udto kanimo po. Okay, so alas 12:09 na, Sir Drew. Again, sa mga learners nato, no, so kindly notify us with your attendance.
And bago tayo magpaalam, nais naming pasalamatan ng ating mga Radyo Z-Eskwela program sponsors. Thank you so much for always supporting our program here.
Yeah, so maraming salamat po. And yes, Sir Drew, tayo'y magpapaalam na. But before that, allow me to say hi sa ako ang district head diha sa Nabunturan East District, to Ma'am Rosario A. Naniesa. Hello, Ma'am, maayong udto kanimo. And of course, sa akong mga kaubanan diha sa Cao National High School, headed by our school principal, Ma'am Norma Amber Ruiz.
And so with our MOB District Supervisor, Ma'am Azucena L. Teves, Ma'am, maayong hapon sa imo ug sa imong mga kaubanan. At the same time sa among Head Teacher 1 and School In Charge diha sa Tuburan National High School. Ug sa akong mga kaubanan na ka-skeletal workforce, hello po and God bless and see you later.
Yes po. Ayan, so kami magpapaalam na agad. Don't skip your meal. Magpakabusog po kayo and ang pingats palagi. This has been Teacher Maymay Resma.
And I'm Sir Drew Manuel.
Yes, so atangin ninyo ugma puhon sa ato ang programang Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Siguradong masaya.
Right and only here po yan sa inyong paboritong radio station. Ang Z Radio 88.5, ang istasyong Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong kuya.
Once again, maraming thank you po. God bless us all.
Hoy, tara, magklase na ta! Tara! Sige! Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela. presyo'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go!
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive and Technical Working Committee. The school's Division Superintendent, Euphemia T. Gamutin Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. Curriculum Implementation Division OIC Chief, Dr. Arlene B. Lim. School Governance and Operations Division, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Program Director, Dr. Arlene B. Lim. Assistant Program Director, Noemi P. Canales. Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opena, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Sikinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Dr. Renato N. Pakpakin, Dr. Andy P. Cabodok, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Ryan Villanueva, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Daylan S. Milabat, Medard D. Apit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Production and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judiland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen C. Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banyes. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo C. Gutierrez Jr., Jade Karen R. Arais, Eliza May Garsuta, Sedi S. Caballero, and Jane S. Caballero. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Right and only here at Z Radio 88.5, ang istasyong siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw.
Katambalan ng pag-ahon, isang bansang puso ay pinag-iisa.
Nang diin, lahat tayo'y uunlad at aangat.
Hilyan tayo, kabrigada, diwa ng bayanihan, atin ang nasimula. Man ang mararating, mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayan at kabrigada, lahat ang ika'y gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Ito ang pusong brigada, paaral ay pinapaganda. Pusong brigada eskwela, walang iwanan tayo.
Paaralan, tinatawag na tahanan.
Aalagaan, patuloy pagyamanin, kulay at tinig, panatilihin natin.
Ito lang,
Kapit lang,
sama-sama,
walang iwanan,
mananatiling magkasangga.
langit ay kakampirin natin. Ano man ang mararating, mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayan at kabrigada, lahat ay kayang gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Pusong brigada eskwela, walang iwanan tayo. Walang iwanan tayo.
One station, all the hits.
Z Radio 88.5.
Pre, unsa din ang 88.5?
Z Radio.
Unsa man po ng Z Radio?
88.5.
Ah, kuyawa, oy!
Ma-88.5 o Z-Radio man, kamo na minaw sa Ziguradong Lingaw, Ziguradong Kuyaw, Z-Radio 88.5. Usa ka ba kateki? Pindot diri, pindot dito. Ang inyong bagong Z-Radio may application na. Mag-download sa Android App Store ug Z-Radio application aron masking asa ka man mo adto, Luzon, Visayas ug Mindanao ug masking naka sa Zimbabwe. Makapaminaw ka sa Ziguradong Lingaw, Ziguradong Kuyaw, Z-Radio 88.5.
Z-Radio 88.5.
Check our time, it's 12:18 sa Udto and you are still tuning in to Z-Radio 88.5, ang istasyong Ziguradong Lingaw.
Ziguradong Kuya.
Maayong Udto mga kazi, anian na pod kita alang sa pagpadayon sa ato ang episode for today. My name is Teacher Given.
And I am Ma'am Nanay Lore at your service.
Maayong Udto once again sa tanan. I hope kitang tanan no, nakahinay-hinay nagpanikay-sikay alang sa atong pagpaniudto kay nay, mas maayong maminaw sa ato ang programa kung busog ang atong mga tiyan.
Tama yun na Sir Given, no? And karon unsa nang orasa alas 12 na kapin. And I'm pretty sure ang ato ang mga magtutudlo din ha, ato ang mga ginikanan, labi na ang ato ang mga learners nagpadayon usab sa atang kanato dinhi sa atong kahanginan o dinapod mismo sa ato ang mga nagkadaiyang mga platforms din na sa FB Live.
That is why ato ang once again ato ang itimbaya nay tanan natong mga suking tigpaminaw from all around Davao de Oro, ilabi na ang ato ang mga maestra ug maestro nga naminaw karon sa ato ang programa, ato ag yung kauban matag adlaw nga tanan nga nagahatag og suporta dinhi sa ato ang programa. Daghan kayong salamat sa inyo ha for making us a part of your daily routine, ilabi na sa mga naa karon sa ilang mga tagsa-tagsa ka tulunghaan tungod kay naga-duty on-site and also sa tanan nato mga teachers na naka-work from home right now. Maayong pagpaminaw ninyong tanan.
Yes, that's right Sir Given, and amo din giawhag ato ang mga viewers din ha on listeners nga pwede sila mo padayag sa ilahang mga greetings, sa mga questions and concerns. Comment lang mo din ha sa ato ang nagkadiyang mga comment boxes din ha sa ato ang FB Live of Z-Radio 88.5, of our FB Live at DepEd tayo Division of Davao de Oro, and our Radyo Z-Eskwela DepEd Davao de Oro.
We would like also to invite everyone to please do subscribe our YouTube channel kung diin pwede ka ayon ninyong balikan ang ato ang mga leksyon nga gina-air dinhi sa ato ang programa no. If you wish to have some review sa ato ang mga naklase na, please feel free to check that one sa ato ang YouTube channel. And do not forget also to fill out our attendance link for today's episode na naka-flash ngayon sa inyong mga screen at naka-pin sa ating description box. That's https://tinyurl.com/Radyo Z-Eskwela May 4. Again, https://tinyurl.com/Radyo Z-Eskwela May 4.
Yes, Sir Given, and they can also text or call us at our mobile phone number 0953-211-3492.
Yes, allow us to feel nga naamo kauban namo sa ato ang programa by commenting on our comment section and by utilizing it for your questions, mga pagtimbaya unya no ato ang hatagan og panahonay. Of course, atoan pong gitimbaya ang ato ang very supportive na Schools Division Superintendent. Hello to Ma'am Eufemia Gamutin.
Good morning, ma'am.
Maayong pagpaminaw din ha, ma'am. And to our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel Handayan.
And let's not also forget to greet our dear education program supervisors who are very supportive, and of course our two chiefs, the chief of the SGOD, Dr. Ruben Riponte, and we have with us our mother of the RBI, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, our OICCID Chief.
Yes, that's right. And sa lahat ng ating mga kaibigan dyan sa Division Office, sa tanan natong mga empleyado din ha, nga naminaw sa atong programa, maayong pagpaminaw ninyong tanan, ilabi na pod sa ato ang mga public schools district supervisors na and district coordinating principals nga kauban gyud nato o katambayayong nato para mas mapaabot ngadto sa ato mga estudyante kining ato ang programa.
Yes, Sir Given, and we are so overwhelmed with the responses of our dear teachers, our listeners, our learners, and parents with the responses from our attendance link.
Yes, so padayon lang nato no nga i-key-in ang ato ang mga attendance din ha para mahibalo mi dinhi kung kinsa ba ang nagapaminaw sa ato ang programa. Ladies and gentlemen, papasadahan lamang po natin ang ating naihatid na ng mga lesson presentations in the first 2 hours sa ato ang programa. In the first hour, nakauban nato si Ma'am Luciel Tivelos, Teacher 1 of San Roque Elementary School, New Bataan District, para sa ating Mathematics Grade 5 lesson presentation with our topic Measures Time using 12-hour and 24-hour clock.
Yes, and this was followed by our Math 5 with the subject matter surface area with our content presenter, Sir Joseph T. Babag, Teacher 1 of Pumpong Integrated School, and of course, together with him is the Creative Resource Material Developer, Aris May H. Olandria, Teacher 1 of Maragusan District.
And right now, we are bound to give you our third lesson presentation for today's episode. I believe everyone right now is very excited,
That's right.
Tungod kay this one goes out to all our learners in grade 7. So I hope sa ato ang mga grade 7 learners din ha, nakaposisyon na ta. Find your most comfortable positions din ha sa inyong mga panimalay, and maayo kung kauban ninyo karon ang inyong mga ginikanan or kung kinsa man nga pwedeng mo assist sa inyo ha sa inyong pagkat-on sa inyong panimalay. Alright, for our third lesson presentation for today, once again, this is for Mathematics Grade 7. This will be presented to us by Sir Joseph Z. Rizon, Teacher 1 of Pantukan National High School. Kasama niya ang kanyang Creative Resource Material Developer na si Sir Roy Y. Matanlong, also from the same school. And of course, Nay, we will be talking about what particular subject matter?
Yes, for our Math 7, that is parallel lines and transversals.
Alright, that's what we are going to discuss today. Marvel on how surprisingly easy and fun learning mathematics is with your MATH-TINIK teachers. Together, let's make our day Math Saya. My name is Teacher Given.
And I am Ma'am Nanay Lor.
Tara na,
magklase na ta!
It's another math-terrific session in a Tuesday afternoon. Good day, grade 7 learners from the division of Davao de Oro. This is your radio-based instruction in Mathematics 7. I am Teacher Joseph Rizon from Pantukan National High School, your radio teacher for today. To start our learning session, please make sure that you are ready and comfortable wherever you are right now. Let me lend your ears and attention as well so that you can focus in our class through radio. Before we are going to start, kindly prepare your paper, pen, and your mathematics module entitled Mathematics 7, Quarter 3, Module 3, Parallel Lines and Transversals. Now, are you ready to learn, students? Great! Let us learn something new today. Our lesson for today is Parallel Lines and Transversals. And at the end of the session, you are expected to illustrate interior, exterior, alternate interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding angles formed between two lines. Next, you will also determine the angle formed between or when two lines are cut by a transversal lines. You will identify the angles formed between two lines, and lastly, determine the relationship of the angles formed by parallel lines cut by a transversal. Now, are you ready, students? Great. Please go to page 3 of your module and find Let Us Study. Are you now on page 3? Great. As we all know, and as defined in your module, parallel lines are coplanar lines that do not intersect. Take note of the word do not intersect. While a transversal is a line that intersects two or more other lines at two or more distinct points. To illustrate, please go to the figure. As you observe, there are three lines. Two of it are what we call parallel lines. The parallel lines are the line segment AB and the line segment CD, while the third line segment EF, is what we call the transversal line. On the next figure in the same page number of your module, we have line M as the transversal line of line X and line Y. It is because it intersects these two lines at two distinct points. Take note, a transversal creates different types of angle pairs. To illustrate, let M be transversal of lines X and Y. Exterior angles are the angles between side of a rectilinear figure and adjacent side extended outward, while interior angles are the angles between adjacent sides of a rectilinear figure. To illustrate, now, what are the exterior angles in the figure? The exterior angles are angle 1, angle 2, angle 7, and angle 8. Remember, exterior angles means outside, outward. Next, what are the interior angles in the figure? We have angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, and angle 6. Please differentiate these two angles, interior and exterior angles. Next, let's proceed to the next pair of angles. We have corresponding angles. These are any pair of angles of which is on the same side of one of two lines cut by a transversal and on the same side of the transversal. Now, what are the corresponding angles in the figure? The corresponding angles are angles 1 and 5. We also have angle 4 and angle 8. Next, angle 2 and angle 6. And angle 3 and angle 7. Please take note of these corresponding angles. We have angle 1 and 5, angles 4 and 8, angles 2 and 6, and angles 3 and 7. Next concept, alternate exterior angles. These are the pair of angles that lie on the outer side of two parallel lines, but on either side of the transversal line. While the alternate interior angles are angles formed when two parallel lines or non-parallel lines are intersected by a transversal. To illustrate, the alternate exterior angles in the figure are, we have angle 1 and angle 7. As we all know, angle 1 and angle 7 are both exterior angles. But in this case, these pair of angles are what we call alternate exterior angles. Next pair is angle 2 and angle 8, which are both exterior angles. But in this case, this pair angle 2 and angle 8 is what we call alternate exterior angles. On the other hand, angles 4 and 6 are what we call interior angles. And angles 3 and 5 are also interior angles. But in this case, angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles. And angle 3 and angle 5 are also alternate interior angles. Next concept is same side exterior angles. These are two angles that are exterior to the parallel lines and on the same side of the transversal lines. While the same side interior angles are two angles that are on the same side of the transversal lines and on the interior of the two lines. To illustrate, using the same figure, pair angles 1 and 8 and pair angles 2 and 7 are what we call the same side exterior angles in the figure. Remember, angles 1, 8, 2, and 7 are what we call exterior angles. But in this case, pair angles 1 and 8, pair angles 2 and 7 are what we call the same side exterior angles. On the other hand, angles 4 and 5, angles 3 and 6 are what we call interior angles. But when we say pair of angles 4 and 5 and pair of angles 3 and 6 are what we call the same side interior angles. Remember, class, when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal line, the corresponding angles are congruent. The alternate exterior angles are also congruent. And the alternate interior angles are congruent. Next to remember, the same side exterior angles are supplementary. When we say supplementary, two angles are added up to 180 degrees. And the same side interior angles are what we call supplementary. This time, please go to page 4 and 5 of your module and find Let Us Practice. And let us practice more and answer the following problems. We will check after the short break. Don't go away, students. We will be right back after this break.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
And we are back, students. This time, let us check your answers. On the Let Us Practice portion, identify the angles asked in each item. Refer to the figure to answer items A to I. Let's begin with letter A. Identify all the interior angles. We have angles 2, 6, 3, and 7. Great job, students. Again, the interior angles are angle 2, angle 6, angle 3, and angle 7. How about all exterior angles? We have angle 1, angle 5, angle 4, and angle 8. Great! Letter C. Give the 4 pairs of corresponding angles. We have angles 1 and 3. How about angle 5? What is the corresponding angle, or what is the pair of angle 5? We have, great, angle 7. How about angle 2? That's angle 4. And last pair, we have angle 6 and, great, it's angle 8. Let's proceed to the next item, letter D. Give the 2 pairs of alternate interior angles. We have angle 2 and, great, angle 7. And the last pair is angle 3 and angle 6. Great job, students! How about for the letter E item? Give the 2 pairs of the alternate exterior angles. We have angle 1 and angle 8. We also have angle 4 and angle 5. Next is give the 2 pairs of the same side exterior angles. We have angle 1 and angle 4. And the next pair is angle 5 and, great, it's angle 8. Next item, give the 2 pairs of the same side interior angles. We have angle 2 and, great, it's angle 3. We also have a pair of angle 6 and, wow, it's angle 7. Great job, students! Next item, name at least 2 pairs of angles that are congruent. Remember, there are many pairs of angles that are considered as congruent, but just give us 2 pairs. Remember, when 2 parallel lines are cut by a transversal line, the corresponding angles are congruent. The alternate exterior angles are also congruent. And the alternate interior angles are congruent. If you gave corresponding angles, alternate exterior angles, or alternate interior angles, therefore, you are correct because these pair of angles are congruent. Please take note of that, students. And the last item, can you name at least 2 pairs of angles that are supplementary? 2 pair of angles that are supplementary. That means when we add the 2 angles, it will give us a result or a sum of 180 degrees. What are these 2 pair of angles? Another thing to remember, class, when 2 parallel lines are cut by a transversal line, the same side exterior angles are supplementary, and the same side interior angles are also supplementary. When you answered same side exterior angles or same side interior angles, then you are correct on that item. Wow! Great job, students! How about the activity on page 5? Let us practice more. Let's answer letter A, items 1 to 10. Write true if the statement is correct. Otherwise, write false. Please refer to the figure on your module. Number 1. Angle 1 and angle 7 are corresponding angles. Is it true or false? Great, that's false, because angle 1 and angle 7 are both exterior angles. Number 2. Angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding angles. Great, that's true. Angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding angles. Next, number 3. Angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles. Is it true or false? Great, that's true, because angle 4 and angle 6 are both alternate interior angles. Number 4. Angle 2 and angle 7 are same side exterior angles. Is it true or false? Great, that's true. Angle 2 and angle 7 are same side exterior angles. Number 5. Angle 5 and angle 8 are supplementary. True. Angle 5 and angle 8 are supplementary. Number 6. Angle 4 and angle 5 are supplementary. That's true, because angle 4 and angle 5 are the same side interior angles, which are considered as supplementary. Next item, angle 1 and angle 7 are supplementary. True or false? That's false, because angle 1 and angle 7 are alternate exterior angles, which are congruent and not supplementary. Next item, angle 3 and angle 6 are congruent. Is it true or false? That's false, because angle 3 and angle 6 are same side interior angles, which are supplementary and not congruent. Number 9, angle 2 and angle 6 are congruent. Is it true or false? Great, that's true. And last item, angle 5 and angle 7 are congruent. Is it true or false? Yes, that's true. Amazing, students! Great job! I know you got a perfect score. This time, please go to page 6 of your module and find Let Us Practice More and answer letter B. The instruction is lines A and B are cut by a transversal C, as you have seen in the figure, and the measure angle 5 is 98 degrees. Therefore, among the angles in the figure, we have a given measure of angle 5, which is 98 degrees. Now, assume that A is parallel to B. Find the measure of all the other angles. Let's begin with the measure of angle 1. We all know that the angle 1 and angle 5 are both corresponding angles. And we also know that the corresponding angles are congruent. If the measure of angle 5 is 98 degrees, therefore, the measure of angle 1 is also 98 degrees. Next is the measure of angle 2. As observed in the figure, angles 1 and 2 are on the same line, which is line A. And we all know that if the two angles are on the same straight line, it will result to 180 degrees. Since the measure of angle 1 is 98 degrees, to make it 180 degrees, the measure of angle 2 is great. It's 82 degrees. Remember, 98 degrees plus 82 degrees, that makes 180 degrees. Next, the measure of angle 3. As observed in the figure, angle 2 and angle 3 are on the transversal line or the line C. We all know that if the two angles are on the same line, on the same straight line, therefore, the two angles will result to 180 degrees. Since angle 2 is 82 degrees, to make it 180 degrees, we will add 98 degrees. Therefore, the measure of angle 3 is 98 degrees. Next, the measure of angle 4. As observed in the figure, angles 1 and 4 are on the same line, which is line C. And we all know that the two angles are on the same line, therefore, they are supplementary. Since we all know that angle 1 or the measure of angle 1 is 98 degrees, therefore, the measure of angle 4 is 82 degrees. Next, measure of angle 5 is 98 degrees as given. Next is the measure of angle 6. We all know that angle 2 and angle 6 are both corresponding angles. And we also know that the corresponding angles are congruent. If angle 2 or the measure of angle 2 is 82 degrees, therefore, the measure of angle 6 is also 82 degrees. Next, the measure of angle 7. We all know that the angle 1 and angle 7 are both alternate exterior angles, and the alternate exterior angles are congruent. If angle 1 is 98 degrees, therefore the measure of angle 7 is also 98 degrees. And the last angle is the measure of angle 8. We all know that angle 2 and angle 8 are alternate exterior angles. And we also know that the alternate exterior angles are both congruent. Since the measure of angle 2 is 82 degrees, therefore the measure of angle 8 is also 82 degrees. This time, please go to page 7 of your module and find, let us assess, and answer 1 to 5. Don't go away, students. We will be right back after the break time.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
And we are back again, students. This time, we will check and we will assess your understanding. Let us check your answers on the activity I have given to you before the break. Refer to the figure to answer items 1 to 5. Write the letter of your answer on a sheet of paper. Number 1. How many angles are formed when a transversal intersects two parallel lines? Again, how many angles are formed when a transversal intersects two parallel lines? A. 8, B. 4, C. 6, D. 2. The answer is A. 8. Number 2. How many pairs of corresponding angles are there? Again, how many pairs of corresponding angles are there? A. 8, B. 4, C. 6, or D. 2. The answer is B. 4. Number 3. How many pairs of alternate interior angles are there? Again, how many pairs of alternate interior angles are there? A. 8, B. 4, C. 6, D. 2. The answer is D. 2. Number 4. How many pairs of same-side exterior angles are there? Again, how many pairs of same-side exterior angles are there? A. 8, B. 4, C. 6, D. 2. The answer is D. 2. And last item, which of the following angles is congruent to angle B? Again, which of the following angles is congruent to angle B? A. Angle C, B. Angle D, C. Angle A, or D. Angle F? The answer is A. Angle C. Great job, students! This time, let us have a recap. Remember, when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal line, the corresponding angles are congruent. The alternate exterior angles are also congruent, and the alternate interior angles are congruent. Next, the same side exterior angles are supplementary, and the same side interior angles are supplementary. Parallel parallel lines cut by a transversal may not be that obvious to spot in our daily lives, but they play an important role, especially in many fields. Look at some bookshelves or cabinets, the type with 4 vertical legs. It usually has a diagonal piece that connects one point of a leg to a different point in the second leg. This diagonal piece is the transverse piece. This transverse piece provides strength and support for the whole structure. Thank you so much, students, for listening for today's session. I hope you've got something from me. This time, try to continue answering the remaining items in your module. You can ask for help to your Mathematics 7 teacher. Thank you so much, students. Please be safe. God bless. And see you soon. Goodbye!
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive and Technical Working Committee. The school's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. Curriculum Implementation Division OIC Chief, Dr. Arlene B. Lim. School Governance and Operations Division, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Program Director, Dr. Arlene B. Lim. Assistant Program Director, Noemi P. Canales. Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Dr. Renato M. Pakpakin, Dr. Andy P. Cabodok, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Ryan Villanueva, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Daylan S. Milabat, Medard D. Apit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Production and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judilan T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen C. Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banyes. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo C. Gutierrez Jr., Jade Karen R. Arais, Eliza May Garsuta, Sedi S. Caballero, and Jane S. Caballero. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Right and only here at Z Radio 88.5, ang istasyong siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw.
Sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipakipigil sa pagsulong, sa kinabukasan na katuon, para sa di kalidad na edukasyon. Eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang normal, online learning at modular, di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang bagong mundo. Muslim, Kristiyano, katutubo, isang hanggarin saan patungo. Ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa'yo. Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face-to-face, gamit ng cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Isang alang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan, sa bawat oras at panahon, magpakailanman. Hangat palagi ng ating paaralan, ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara. Tayong lahat, sabay-sabay, pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face-to-face, gamit ng cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Katambalan ng pag-ahon, isang bansang puso ay pinag-iisa.
Nang diin, lahat tayo'y uunlad at aangat.
Hilyan tayo, kabrigada, diwa ng bayanihan, atin ang nagkasimula. Man ang mararating, mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayani ka, brigada, lahat ang ikayang gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Ito ang pusong brigada, paaral ay pinapaganda. Pusong brigada, eskwela, walang iwanan tayo.
Paaralan, tinatawag na tahanan.
Aalagaan, patuloy pagyamanin, kulay at tinig, panatilihin natin. Kapit lang,
Sama-sama,
walang iwanan,
mananatiling magkasangga.
langit ay kakampirin natin. Ano man ang mararating, mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayani ka, brigada, lahat ay kayang gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Pusong brigada, eskwela, walang iwanan tayo. Walang iwanan tayo.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive and Technical Working Committee. The School's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. Curriculum Implementation Division OIC Chief, Dr. Arlene B. Lim. School Governance and Operations Division, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Program Director, Dr. Arlene B. Lim. Assistant Program Director, Noemi P. Canales. Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Sikinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Dr. Renato N. Pakpakin, Dr. Andy P. Cabodok, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Ryan Villanueva, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Daylan S. Milabat, Medard D. Apit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Production and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judiland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen C. Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banyes. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Lanara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo C. Gutierrez Jr., Jade Karen R. Arais, Eliza May Garsuta, Sedi S. Caballero, and Jane S. Caballero. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Right and only here at Z Radio 88.5, ang istasyong siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw.
Nagasibiyag gikan sa Bulawan ng probinsya sa Davao de Oro. Kini ang siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw. 88.5 Z Radio.
This is Z Radio 88.5.
Z Radio 88.5.
Check our time, it's 1:08 in the afternoon, 1:08 na mga kazi o kamugihapon na minaw ni ining atong sibiyahanang Z Radio 88.5, ang istasyong siguradong lingaw,
siguradong kuya.
And kauban gihapon ninyo ang tambalang teacher Given
and Ma'am Nanay Lor at your service.
Yes, Nay, we just gave you our lesson presentation for Mathematics Grade 7 with our topic, Parallel Lines and Transversals. Ato ang pasalamatan and i-congratulate ang ato ang content presenter and creative resource material developer, si Sir Joseph Z. Rizon of Pantuca National High School and Sir Roy Y. Matanlong. Daghan kayong salamat sa inyuhang makanunayon nga commitment no alang sa paghatod ngadto sa ato ang mga estudyante ni ining ato mga leksyon para sa Grade 7 Mathematics.
That's right, Sir Given, and I'm sure nga until now naagihapon nag-uban-uban ka na to ang ato ang mga learners din na sa secondary kay Math 7 naman ta karon no, di ba? So dili po nato hikalimtan ang ato ang mga magtutudlo din na nga nagagiya gihapon sa ato ang mga learners din na sa ilang tagsa-tagsa ka mga panimalay. And so to our dear learners, feel free to contact your advisors or your subject teachers in mathematics para kung aduna kamoy mga pangutana, dali ra gyud nila matubag.
That's right. Or pwede po kayo ninyong gamito no ang ato ang comment section kay I believe our content presenter and creative resource material developer is nakatutok sa ato ang programa karon. Sadly, dili nato sila makauban dinhi sa ato ang programa para muhatag og katin-awan sa inyong mga pangutana, but I am very sure nga they are very much willing to give you some clarifications. Just approach them through our comment section. And of course, we are down to our last lesson presentation for today. But before that one, ato asang itimbaya once again ang ato ang program director, ato ang inahan dinhi sa ato ang pag-implementar sa radio-based instruction. Hello to Dr. Arlene Lim, nakatutok sa atin.
Good afternoon, Doc.
And of course, our education program supervisor in mathematics, Dr. Renato Nino Franco Pakpakin. Hello, sir. Maayong pagpaminaw. And, of course, na basig na atay gustong itimbaya din ha, naapa ba tayo mga pagtimbaya? Go ahead.
Yes, Sir Given, we'd like to greet our dear listeners, our dear teachers out there, especially sa katong naminaw karon din na sa Compostela Central Elementary School SPED Center. And of course, ako po din timbayaon, Sir Gibbs. Ang ako ang kinakusgan nga school principal din na, si Ma'am Maria Belia Alvarez. And of course, our PSDS Sir Ray P. Antonio. Good afternoon.
Hello also sa PSDS din sa Monte Vista District. Hello to Ma'am Clemencia Iscropolo. And I am saying hello to our school principal for Dr. Jernaldin O. Perez. Hello also to Ma'am Marites Villacorteza and Sir Genevieve Miguel. Og sa ako ang mga kaubanan din no sa Monte Vista National High School main campus. Maayong pagpaminaw ninyong tanan sa mga naka-onsite karunay nga murag busy kaayo para atong report sa atong proficiency level. Laban lang yun mga teachers kay ingani
consolidate pa ko.
Yes, maayong pagpaminaw og padayon na sa pagpalanog-lanog. Once again makauban mi ninyo hantod alas 2 ang takna sa hapon, and right now ato ang ihatag sa ilahan ay ang ato ang last and final lesson presentation.
By the way, Sir Given, bago na to ihatag ang last, para din ako makalimtan, we would like to greet our district nurse din sa Compostela East District, si Ma'am Cherry Ann Panyo. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Ma'am Cherry
And also to your friend, Sir Iris.
Yes, friend nako Iris Tia usa sa atong mga magtutudlo din sa Tamya Elementary School. Hello friend, happy birthday, and I wish you all the best. And of course, ato ang mga kaubanan pod nga mga kahigalaan sa Compostela National High School. Thank you very much for tuning in. Oras nato, it's 1:13 in the afternoon, oras sa kanato sa Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, and of course sa ato ang Vice Governor Maria Carmen Zamora. Right now, we will be giving you our last and final lesson presentation for today. Go ahead, Nay. Kinsay mo dala sa ato ang leksyon?
Okay, our last presentation is coming from Teacher 1 of Tambungon National High School. Kani ihatod kanato sa ato ang content presenter nga si Ma'am Michelle Iniere. And of course, our creative resource material developer, Shana May C. Diazon. Teacher 3 of New Bataan National High School.
Yes, and we will be giving you our lesson presentation for Mathematics Grade 8 with our topic, How to Prove Congruence of Triangle. Kaya naman, sa lahat ng ating Grade 8 learners, please find your most comfortable positions, have with you your module and your noting essentials, kaya atuan ang sugdan ang atuang leksyon para kaninyo. My name is Teacher Given.
And I am Ma'am Nanay Lord.
Tara na!
Magklase na ta!
Good day, Grade 8 learners. Your teacher is back on track to help you learn the lessons in Mathematics 8. I am Teacher Michelle Niere of Tambungan National High School, Bantukan South District, and I will be your guide in enhancing your minds in facing challenges in Grade 8 Mathematics. Do prepare your papers and pens, listen and understand carefully, and let us have a wonderful day of learning how to prove congruence of triangles. At the end of our session, you will be able to, number 1, define the 4-triangle congruence. Number 2, make use of the properties of congruence and equality, postulates and definition of undefined terms when proving. And 3rd, present statements in the form of 2-column proof containing statements and reasons when proving. Before we prove congruence of triangles, let us first learn the idea of congruence. Congruence means two geometric figures with exactly the same size and shape. For example, in the figure, triangle ABC and triangle PQR are congruent triangles. Two triangles are said to be congruent if pairs of corresponding sides and corresponding angles are congruent. How far do we need to know in order to prove that these two triangles are congruent? Before we do that, let us first identify the parts of a triangle in terms of their relative positions. We have first the included angle. Included angle is defined as the angle between two sides of a triangle. Again, included angle is defined as the angle between two sides of a triangle, while the included side is defined as the side common to two angles of a triangle. Again, included side is the side common to two sides of a triangle. We will consider the triangle in the figure. We have triangle DEF. Again, the triangle in the figure is triangle DEF. In order for us to identify clearly the parts of a triangle in terms of their relative positions, I want you to observe closely the part or each part of the triangle that we will be mentioning. Let us have first angle D. Observe, angle D is an included angle of side DF and side DE. Again, angle D is an included angle of side DF and side DE. Second, angle E is an included angle of side ED and side EF. Angle E is an included angle of side ED and side EF. Angle F is an included angle of side FD and side FE. How about its three sides? We have side DE. Side DE is an included side of angle D and angle E. Side DE again is an included side of side D and side E. Side EF is an included side of angle E and angle F. Again, take note that side EF is an included side of angle E and angle F. And the last side, which is side DF, is an included side of angle D and angle F. Again, side DF is an included side of angle D and angle F. However, you don't need to show all these six to prove that the two triangles are congruent. We, the use of these four congruence postulates, will learn how to prove that two triangles are congruent. The first congruence postulate is known as SSS, or side-side-side congruence postulate. This certain postulate says if the three sides of one triangle are congruent to the three sides of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. Let me emphasize again SSS or side-side-side congruence postulate. It states that if the three sides of one triangle are congruent or equal to the three sides of another triangle, then the triangles are obviously congruent. In the figure, we have two triangles, triangle ABC and triangle DEF. The figure shows that the side of triangle ABC, which is AB, is congruent to the other side of the triangle DEF, which is the side DE, and side BC is also congruent to side EF, and AC is congruent to side DF. Therefore, the three sides of the given triangles are congruent. We can now say that the two triangles, triangle ABC and triangle DEF, are congruent triangles. That is according to SSS or side-side-side congruence postulate. The second congruence postulate is known as SAS or side angle side congruence postulate. The SAS or the side angle side congruence postulate is defined as if two sides and an included angle of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding two sides and the included angle of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. Again, the SAS, which stands for side angle side congruence postulate, is defined as if the two sides and an included angle of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding two sides and the included angle of one triangle, then the triangles are congruent. In the figure, we have again triangle ABC and triangle DEF. Observe, angle A is an included angle of side AB and side AC for triangle ABC. And as to the other triangle, angle D is an included angle of side DE and side DF. Notice also that in the figure, or the figure shows that side AB and side DE are congruent, and the included angles A and D are also congruent, and the other side, side AC and side DF, are also congruent. Therefore, we have the side, the included angle, and another side to be congruent. We can say that the triangles ABC and DEF are congruent triangles since the two sides and an included angle of triangle ABC are congruent also to the corresponding two sides and the included angle of triangle DEF. That is our second congruence postulate, known as the side angle side congruence postulate. Before we will proceed to our third congruence postulate, let us have first our short break.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
We are back to the second part of our presentation this afternoon. We'll now have the third congruence postulate of the four congruence postulates. The third one is ASA congruence postulate, known as, or ASA stands for angle, side, angle, one triangle, then the triangles are congruent. So what are involved here are the two angles and the included side of one triangle and the other triangle. Again, in ASA, two angles and the included side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding two angles and an included side of one triangle for us to say that the two triangles are congruent. It is also observed that both of the included sides of the two triangles are congruent. And apart from that observation, we also have angle A congruent to angle D and angle B congruent to angle E. The two angles in the included side of triangle ABC are congruent to the corresponding two angles and an included side of triangle DEF. Then, we can say that triangle ABC and triangle DEF are congruent triangles based on ASA congruence postulate. In the figure, we have triangle ABC and triangle DEF. For the first triangle, side AB is an included side of angles A and B. And as to the other triangle, side DE is the included side of angle D and angle E. This time, let's have the fourth and last congruence postulate. It is known as AAS congruence postulate. This postulate states that if two angles and a non-included side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding two angles and a non-included side of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. Again, let me say it again. If two angles and a non-included side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding two angles and a non-included side of one triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. What are involved here are the two angles and a non-included side of both triangles. Figure, we have triangle ABC with an angle bisector of side BD dividing angle B into two equal parts. So, forming into two new triangles. We have triangle ABD and triangle DBC. In this figure, we have angle ABD congruent to angle DBC and another angle A congruent to angle C. Of the two angles of each triangle, we have the non-included side, which is side BD for angle ABD and also side BD for angle DBC. So by the reflexive property, the side is congruent by itself. We can now say that these two triangles ABD and triangle DBC are congruent triangles according to angle side congruence postulate. Now that you have just learned this 4 triangle congruence postulate, let us have an activity. This activity also requires us to use some properties of congruence and equality, axioms and postulates, which you have learned on our previous lesson. The direction of our activity says, examine the figure carefully. Name the postulate used and what property of congruence, axioms, postulates are used on the following items. Again, examine the figure carefully. Name the postulate used and what property of congruence, axioms, postulates are used on the following items. In the figure, we have side common to both triangles. By using reflexive property, we can say that this side common to both triangles is equal by itself. The figure also says that an included angle of one triangle is congruent to the included angle of another triangle, and the two sides of one triangle and the two sides of another triangle, making the two angles included from each triangle are congruent. We can now say that the answer for item number 1, proving the two triangles are congruent, is the SAS or side angle side congruence postulate. This is now the second figure of our first activity. The figure is similar to a kite formed by two adjacent triangles. Observe that side CA is common to both triangles. By the reflexive property, the side is equal by itself. And we also have side CB congruent to side CD. And side AB is congruent to side AD. The three sides of the two triangles are congruent. Therefore, we can say that the two triangles are congruent having SSS congruence postulate or side-side-side congruence postulate, which says that the three corresponding sides of one triangle are congruent to the three corresponding sides of another triangle. We will now proceed to our third figure. We have triangle CBE and triangle AED. In the figure, we observe that the two triangles have common vertex, and that vertex is the vertex E. First observation, we have angle CEB and angle AED to be vertical angles. So we can say that angle CEB and angle AED are congruent angles according to vertical angle theorem. Remember that vertical angle theorem says vertical angles are congruent. Another observation we can get from the given figure is we have angle A congruent to angle B, side AE congruent to side EB. We can say that triangle AED and triangle CBE are congruent triangles according to angle side angle congruence postulate, which says again that if two angles and an included side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding two angles and an included side of one triangle, the two triangles are congruent. And we are done with our three figures, which serve as the figures of our first activity. I say good job, students. Now that you understand the triangle congruence postulates and apply the properties of congruence and equality, I am sure that you are now ready to prove congruence of two triangles to the next level. Let us find out how we can apply the congruence postulates to prove that the two triangles are congruent. Now let us consider this figure. We have triangle ABC and triangle CDE. The two triangles have common vertex, and that vertex is the vertex C. From the given illustration, we have two identified given. We have side BC congruent to side DC, and we also have side AB congruent to side DE. Now, we will prove that triangle BCA and triangle DCE is congruent. In proving the statement triangle BCA is congruent to triangle DCE, we will present the statements into two-column proof. The two-column proof contains statements and reason. We will write the statements in the first column, while the reasons will be written in the second column. This time, let's have the following statements. We have side BC congruent to side DC, that is according to our given. We also have side AC congruent to side CE, again that is according to our given. We can also say that angle BCA is congruent to angle DCE, that is based on vertical angles theorem, which says that vertical angles are congruent. Now the last statement is triangle BCA is congruent to triangle DCE according to side angle side postulate or side angle side congruence postulate. Remember that side angle side postulate says that if two sides of one triangle and its included angle are congruent to the corresponding two sides and the included angle of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. We now prove that triangle BCA is congruent to triangle DCE. We now prove that triangle BCA is congruent to triangle DCE. This ends the second part of our discussion this afternoon. We will be right back after our short break.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Tanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Welcome back to the third and last part of our presentation this afternoon. After our discussion, along with its series of illustrations, we can now have these following generalizations. Number 1. There are 4 triangle congruence postulates that can be used when proving. One is as or side angle side congruence postulate. Second, ASA or angle side angle congruence postulate. Third, SSS or side side congruence postulate. And the last one is AAS or angle side congruence postulate. Please remember that there are no side congruence postulate and AAA congruence postulate or angle congruence postulate. Since these postulates may appear similar but not necessarily congruent. Second generalization. Make use of the properties of congruence and equality, postulates and definition of undefined terms if possible when proving. Again, we can make use of the properties of congruence and equality, postulates and definition of undefined terms if possible when proving. And lastly, when proving, you can present your statements in the form of 2-column proof containing statements and reasons, or whatever method of proving you will use based on your preference. One of the most frequently asked questions is, how can we correctly write our proofs? The answer is, you can choose any method in writing proofs either in paragraph form or chart or two-column form. Moreover, to create a good proof, you have to use your knowledge and understanding on different definitions of undefined terms, properties of equality and congruence, postulates and theorem to perform proving congruent triangles. Please prepare your papers and pens and let's begin answering our last activity. I want you to listen for the direction carefully. Given the statements, prove that the triangles shown are congruent. Use the two-column proof to prove these statements. You have to find out how can you apply the congruence postulates to prove that the triangles are congruent. I want you to write all your answers on your paper. Have your paper be submitted to your subject area in your respective schools. And this ends our discussion for this afternoon. At this point, I say, great job, little mathematicians. For sure, you are now totally equipped with the skills in proving triangle congruence. Once again, I am Teacher Michelle and see you on our next lesson. Stay safe everyone and bye for now.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive and Technical Working Committee. The School's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin, CESO 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. Curriculum Implementation Division OIC Chief, Dr. Arlene B. Lim. School Governance and Operations Division, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Program Director, Dr. Arlene B. Lim. Assistant Program Director, Noemi P. Canales. Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Dr. Renato M. Pakpakin, Dr. Andy P. Cabodok, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Ryan Villanueva, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Daylan S. Milabat, Medard D. Apit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Production and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judiland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen C. Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banyes. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Lanara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo C. Gutierrez Jr., Jade Karen R. Arais, Eliza May Garsuta, Sedi S. Caballero, and Jane S. Caballero. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Right and only here at Z Radio 88.5, ang istasyong siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw.
Now, sa Siguradong Lingaw, Siguradong Kuyaw, Z-Radio 88.5.
Adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong kuyaw. Para sa bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa bulawanon na pagsibya, Z-Radio.
Kazi, usa ka ba ka teki? Pindot diri, pindot dito. Ang inyong bagong Z-Radio may application na. Mag-download sa Android App Store ug Z-Radio application aron masking asa ka man mo adto, Luzon, Visayas ug Mindanao ug masking naka sa Zimbabwe. Makapaminaw ka sa Siguradong Lingaw, Siguradong Kuyaw, Z-Radio 88.5.
Sa bulawanon na pagsibya, Z-Radio.
Nagasibya gikan sa Bulawanong probinsya sa Davao de Oro. Kini ang Siguradong Lingaw, Siguradong Kuyaw, 88.5 Z-Radio.
This is Z-Radio 88.5.
And we are back here sa ating programang Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Siguradong masaya.
Right and only here sa Z-Radio 88.5, ang istasyong Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong Kuyaw.
Ladies and gentlemen, ato anang nahatod kaninyo our last and final lesson presentation for today's episode. That is for our learners in Mathematics Grade 8 with our topic, How to Prove Congruence of a Triangle. Atong pasalamatan and congratulations sa atong content presenter, Ma'am Michelle Iniere, all the way from Tambungan National High School, with Ma'am Shana Macy Diazon of New Bataan National High School, our creative resource material developer.
Okay, so that was the last episode for today, Sir Given. But then, dili lang mag-uol kay ugma usa na usab ka panibagong area ang ato bangon dinhi sa atong Radyo Z-Eskwela.
So atangan nato matag adlaw nga tanan mga kazino uban nimi ninyo alas 10 hangtod alas 2 sa hapon para ihatod kaninyo ang ato ang mga leksyon right at the comfort of your home. So para gyud ni ang ato ang pagpanglimbasog nga alang sa ato ang mga learners dinha sa atong tagsa-tagsa kapanimalay nga nakatune in karon.
Tinuod na Sir Given, and I'm sure until now daghan gyapon tag nag-abang no until the end of our slot today. So ako po day ipahabol og timbaya ang akong kaubanan dinha sa Compostela Central Elementary School Sped Center. Labi na kang Ma'am Wilma Salinas, Sir Victor Salinas, Ma'am Nancy Carillo, Ma'am Joy Pugado, Ma'am Mirasol Sorongon, JR, and dinha tanan Leo Tamera dinha sa office ni Ma'am Alvarez. Hello.
Yes, maayong pagpaminaw ninyong
patimbaya gyud daw sila.
Hello to Ma'am Alvarez, maayong pagpaminaw no. And to all our mga suking tigpaminaw dinhi sa atong probinsya ug sa ato ang mga kasikbit nga mga eskwelahan nga dili nasakop ni ining atong division nga kanunay gyud nagapaminaw sa atong programa. With that being said, ato ang itimbaya atong kanhing division leaders dinhi sa ato ang Davao de Oro no, nga naa na karon sa Panabo City Division. Hello to our former SDS, Dr. Reynante Solitario, and our former ASDS, Ma'am Phoebe Gay Refamonte.
And Sir Given, I'd like to take this opportunity also of thanking personally our Congressman Waikurat Zamora. Thank you so much sa tabang, sir. And also to Vice Governor Maricar Zamora, and of course Governor JV Tyrone and Ma'am Sholay Lim. Thank you so much.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, usa na pod ka adlaw, usa na pod ka episode ang ato ang nahuman, and I'm very sure nga kitang tanano nga naminaw dinhi daghan kitag mga nakutlong mga bag-ong pagtulunan nga pwede ka ay natong gamiton adlaw-adlaw sa ato ang kinabuhi. And I hope nga magpadayon gihapon ta sa pagpaminaw ni ining ato ang programa, ilabi na sa atong mga estudyante, because this will really help you nga mas mapalambo pa ang inyong pagkat-on dinha sa inyong mga panimalay pinaagi sa inyong mga module o sa atong pagpaminaw dinhi sa ato ang programa.
Tinuod na Sir Given, because our program is a supplementary material nga pwedeng magamit o mabalik-balikan o tanaw sa ato ang mga learners nga pwede nila access din na sa ato ang YouTube channel.
That's right. And atong pasalamatan once again tanan natong mga content presenter and creative resource material developer nga naghatod sa ato ang leksyon for today, starting with Ma'am Luciel Tivelos from San Roque Elementary School.
We would like also to thank Sir Joseph T. Babag, Teacher 1 of Pongpong Integrated School.
And also to Ma'am Aris May H. Olandria from Maragusan District, ang kapartner ni Sir Joseph sa paghatod sa atong leksyon for Mathematics Grade 5.
Then we'd like also to thank once again Sir Joseph Z. Rizon and Sir Roy Y. Matanlong of Pantukan National High School.
And finally, we got here Ma'am Michelle Niere of Tambongo National High School and Ma'am Shana Macy Diazon of New Bataan National High School, our presenters for our Mathematics Grade 8. And happy listening also sa ato ang District Coordinating Principal dinha sa Pantukan South, dinha sa Tambongo National High School, Ma'am Balbina Tolentino. Maayong pagpaminaw.
Hi, Ma'am!
Oras na to, it's 1:57. Wala na tayo igong oras, mga kazi. It's time for us to say bye-bye for now, but only temporarily, of course. Kay maubanan gihapon nila ang atuang programa. Ugma, same time, same station. Only here at Z-Radio 88.5. Siguradong lingaw.
Siguradong kuya.
Og sa ngalan sa kinatibok ang pwersa sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, maayong pagpamina og daghang salamat for being with us here all along. My name is Teacher Given.
And I am Ma'am Nanay Lore at your service.
God bless everyone og dalaygo ng Diyos.
Keep safe, everyone.